Good afternoon, Mikel.
Hello.
Big game Sunday. Can we just start off with team news? Any chance Gabriel Martinelli, Gabriel and Bukayo Saka will feature?
Yeah, there is a chance they haven't trained, but tomorrow we have another session, so there is a chance that they can be available.
It was 8 wins in a row before the international break. Did it come at a bad time, and has it been a challenge to try and almost reignite that momentum?
Well, you cannot do it. That moment is gone. They had to go to the national teams. We have maximized as much as we possibly could the time we had here with certain players, and now everybody's back. Everybody's so positive about what is coming and looking forward to it.
You had 7 Premier League meetings as Arsenal manager against Pep's Manchester City. The first 6 were defeats, but you managed to get that win this season. Could you just put into words what belief that's given you and the belief and mentality it's given your players?
Yeah, we had some clashes as well in the FA Cup, in Community Shields, and it's all great experiences. They have raised the bar in this league, I think, in football in general, to a level that it haven't been seen before. And that's the beauty of a sport, that makes you better, that challenges you more, and you have to keep up with that pace, and that's what we are trying to do.
When you go back to last season, I know people always ask you to compare what's happened this season compared to last season, but does it feel different for you, and does the belief feel different compared to last season?
Yeah, it is different. Momentum was different. We have certain results and some big injuries as well in that moment, and that's it. But those experiences are there to learn. Sometimes you just have to clap the opponent when they are better than you, and that was the case on the day as well, and learn from it and challenge yourself to be better.
We know about your friendship, your mutual respect with Pep Guardiola. How often do you speak now, and has your relationship changed?
Well, he had to change. He has to change. My admiration and what I feel for him, certainly not. My opinion, he's the best coach in the world by a mile. And he's one of the nicest persons I have met in football, and certainly one of the ones that I have had more fun and laugh working with, and that's going to stay there forever. But obviously our roles at the moment are what they are, and you have to adapt to the situation.
Because I'm guessing there's certain topics you just can't broach anymore.
For sure not, but
you can't talk about football.
it's what it is. But that happens the same in relationship with players. You know, when I have some teammates here, and then you become the coach, and that relationship has to be adapted. You cannot feel different about the person, but professionally you have to act differently.
Mikel, I must ask you about Ben White. He made himself unavailable for England. Just how is he? He received a lot of criticism, and what did you make of that criticism he's received, and have you had to speak to him?
I think he has received a lot of love, and you just have to see what his teammates and what everybody in football thinks of him, the one that they've been close, and I think people have respected his decision, and hopefully one day he's prepared to represent his country in the best possible way, but that's completely up to him.
Just finally on that, there's been a few debates about why he actually made himself unavailable. Can you clarify
No,
why?
that's a question, and he's the one that has to reply.
Worth a try. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, Mikel.
Hi.
Nearly a year since you faced Manchester City in April last season. You were in a title race then, but with that distance from that game, what was the biggest lesson you took from it?
The level that we are facing and where we want to be. Certainly that's where we want to be. And you have to make strong steps to get there. And I think we have done some big ones in the last 2-3 years. And we're getting much, much closer. And now it's how you close that gap and actually try to be better than them.
Previously you spoke about the levels that Manchester City have raised football, not only in the league but in the world. They've suffered 5 defeats this season across all competitions, of which 2 have been against Arsenal. So how proud does that make you feel to see that your team has inflicted defeats on one of the teams that you've said is the best in the world?
Well, that's great, but that's the competition, and the same with Liverpool. And they have earned the right, you know, for everybody to look at them as an example, because what they've done has been phenomenal to do it in this league and to do it consistently like they have done. And I think that has raised our level as well and our demands to try to be like them and beat them.
You mentioned that the players coming back from the international break have been excited, that there's been a positive vibe. For fans and neutrals, it's a very exciting time seeing Arsenal in another title race. Could you just put us in your shoes? What is it like being in this position again, going into these final 9 games, and it's so tight between yourselves, Man City, and Liverpool?
Yeah, I was just watching everybody walk in the building, and I love the energy. I love the smiles. They were glad to be back. They were actually wanted to train yesterday, and the way they communicate and relate with each other is phenomenal. And we have to embrace the moment. We need to go day by day, train really well, prepare for every match, and see where this can take us. We've done a lot already to be in the position that we are, and now we have to embrace and enjoy the moment and go for it.
And just finally, is this the most confident you felt taking an Arsenal side to the Etihad since becoming the Arsenal manager?
I have full belief and trust in my players and what we are trying to do. But it's something that we have to show on the pitch. Outside is very easy to talk.
Thank you, best of luck.
Thank you very much.
Mark.
Hi, Mikel.
Hi.
Just another quick one on Ben, if that's okay. Were you surprised that Gareth spoke so publicly about a conversation that was actually a private matter?
I don't know. That's something between them. I don't know what the arrangements were they and what they have agreed. That's completely up to them.
And just again, going back to Pep, I know you talked about how close you are. Does that make it even more special for you that you're vying for titles and potentially Champions League semi-finals against someone not only who you respect professionally, but you're
Probably I would prefer to do it against somebody else, that I don't have those feelings. But it's not a choice, and it's what it is, and that's it. We both want to win. We know each other very well, and we'll prepare the game to win it.
I just wondered if he got you anything for your birthday.
Sorry?
Did he get you anything for your birthday?
No, he didn't. No.
And then just finally, as well as your game on Sunday, it's a big game for the women's team as well. So it could be a big and hopefully for you guys successful weekend for the club.
Yes, it's a big weekend for the club. Wish them all the best for the final. I think what they're doing is incredible, and I heard that they're going to get a lot of support as well. So that's great news. So let's go for it.
Thank you, Simon.
Just on Pep, Mikel, you talk about being the best coach in the world. Is his ability to innovate which makes him that? I think the game last season, playing long balls up to Haaland, which you don't see Man City do. John Stones this season, we've seen sort of marauding forward from centre back. Is that what makes him the best, the way he's sort of innovated?
Yeah, one is that, and then because I know that and the passion that he lives the game, the intelligence, the way he handles the team as well, and the club, and how demanding he is, and then he has an incredible work ethic, and that's something that people doesn't see, but it's a lot of work behind the scene, and he's managed to do it for 3 different clubs at the top elite level every single season, and that's a huge quality.
Just a last one on Ben. Is it your hope that he does get to play for England again? Is that something you'd like to see?
As manager, I want the best for him, personally and professionally, and he really needs to feel it. And if one day he does, and that's the case, I think that would be the best option for everybody, but you have to respect that.
Cool. Let's look ahead now. Kaya, please.
Hi, Mikel.
Hi.
This is the first of quite a tough run of away fixtures to end the season, but you're side at the top of the Premier League when it comes to away form this season. I just wondered what the secret is behind that form and how you've been able to get such good away record this season.
The secret, I don't know, is we probably try to play away like we try to play at home, and have that belief and that aggression in our play. You have to play every team twice, and we know the fixtures that we have, but we are looking forward to it.
Because it was such a thing before you came that Arsenal were struggling away from home. Obviously, you've been able to transform it. I'm just wondering how you have gone about doing that in terms of convincing the players that they're able to go and do it when maybe before they didn't have that belief.
Yeah, but I think that belief comes as well by winning, and you start to winning one ground that you haven't won for many years, and you do it somewhere else. And that belief, it takes some momentum, and now they approach away games very similar to home games. You cannot replicate it, but at least mentally, and the purpose that they play with is very similar.
That momentum that you mentioned there, does that put you now in a better place to beat Man City than maybe in years gone by?
Well, let's hope so. And it is different actually that the previous game, what we did before we went there, and this season, and now we have to prove that on the pitch.
Hi, Mikel.
Hi.
Obviously a big occasion on Sunday. Do you think it will affect the quality of the game at all that it's coming straight after this international break?
It's a great question. I don't know. Hopefully, from our side, no. And we can maintain what we've been doing, and we are our best.
Because there's obviously been a lot of withdrawals across Europe. I mean, do you think the March international break needs looking at in terms of where it comes in the season?
Yeah, I think in general the whole calendar year has to be looking at, because we are in a lot of games. But that's a topic, obviously, that we all know, and it doesn't look like we're going to affect it in the right way. But yeah, you've seen a lot of games, a lot of players with different circumstances throughout this international period.
Yeah, I mean, there's always a lot of talk about players pulling out or deals struck between clubs and countries over availability. Can you give us a bit of an insight into just how much manoeuvring there is with this March break between the clubs and the country?
Yeah, we try to have the best possible communication with the national teams, but at the end, they have the capacity and to select the players and use them how they feel. I always feel that they want to protect the players as well, but it's true that they have their own pressure. They have to deliver in their roles, and I will never get into their position and to tell them you can give your opinion and explain in the most open way how players are feeling and what we recommend, but then it's entirely up to them.
And just obviously you had this big lead this time last year, weren't able to see it out. You talked before about the need to keep players fit this time being a key part of avoiding that. But when you've done your analysis into the back end of last season, can you give us a bit more insight into what you noticed and what you think went wrong and what you're looking to avoid or improve on this time in this final 10 games?
Yeah, but it's a lot of detail going on. There are specific moments. You are in Anfield, you are 2-0. You have the moment to go and win the game. You don't, you end up drawing. You are West Ham, you are in the same position. You can still win it, you miss the penalty. And it's 2 games, and then the third one comes in with Bournemouth, where we should have clearly won the game, and there were many factors that didn't allow us. We got the injuries, it was a sporting game. It was a lot happening there, and that momentum was shifted to a more negative momentum, and then we struggled to keep up because they kept winning. They won 14, 15 games in a row, and and they managed to do it.
Obviously, because the games you mentioned there, by the time you then went to the Etihad, it was kind of going away from you a bit.
Mm-hmm.
So in that context, how important is Sunday?
Yeah, it's a massive game for both teams, that's for sure, because it will give us a huge boost again if we go there and win it. But still, there is a long way after to make all the ground to win it.
Last one on live from Aaron.
Hi, Miguel.
Hi.
Just wanted to ask about Kai Havertz. He's an incredible vein of form, both on international level. He scored 4 in his last 4, I think, in the Premier League. How important is he for this weekend? And will you need to him up top for wherever he is on the field?
Yeah, he's been in great form, as you said. His overall performance, I think they've been really complete, both for his country and us. And then he's got a scoring threat, obviously. So it's a player. He's been playing different positions, fulfilling those roles in a great way. And we will see how we use him for this game.